the other things that I was,
Yes.
Some of the things that I was impressed in yours is trying to come up with uniqueness. You know, what's the difference between athletics and, sports at Narragansett versus NK. And I would ask each one of you, you had to sum up, because I'm not going to be one, even though I am an educator, and test scores are important. They're certainly not the only thing. And I was talking with a couple of parents about the size of the school, the relative size of each school, and the benefits and the detractions from each one. But one of the things that I would be interested in, AP is very important, sports are very important, but I'd be interested in some other input as far as what is unique. I mean, I understand that Narragansett High School, it does have high energy once in a while, as opposed to what the report says. And you've cited quite a few things that I've been trying to keep track of, and maybe you'll be reiterating what you just said, but I'd be interested in school committees do, superintendents do, principals do. What are you really proud of? What makes it unique? What is going to, why am I, as 20% of this school committee, going to uproot students from North Jamestown? I'm going to look at my neighbors and I'm going to tell them I'm going to do that. I need some passion here. And so tell me about the passion. What's going on? What's so great?
Many things come to mind, but what comes to mind is the leadership and the teachers. I think the leaders in the school is the heart of the school. Mr. Warner owns that school. This is his school. This is the teacher's school. I mean, I think that's the heart of the school. I think it's the quality of the teachers. I think it's the quality of the leader. I think it's the relationship that they have with each other. There's details that I think are great. We talked about the media center being the heart of the school and how that differs from North Kingstown, about how this is a place of instruction. It's not just a place for kids to come to go and check out books. We talked about the state-of-the-art technology, how we lease our technology as opposed to own it. So we have more state-of-the-art stuff. If you look at our technology staff, we have 4 full-time tech staff versus North Kingstown has 5 full-time tech staff. So for a school district that's 3 times larger than us, if you look at what we value as far as technology, 4 tech staff versus 5 tech staff. If I just, the leader, the teachers, but just that whole, again, we keep hearing that theme of personalization, but that emanates throughout the whole school. Dan mentioned the evening guidance counselor hours for parents. I get excited just hearing about, I know the teachers, I know Dan, all the different pieces, but it's such a wonderful place to be. As Kathy mentioned, high school reform is really focusing on smaller learning environments, moving toward the advisory model. Well, at Narragansett, it's not just going to be 1 or 2 teachers that are going to get to know your kids well. It's going to be many teachers that are going to get to know your kids very well because of the size. It's like a family. I grew up in Massachusetts. My high school, I had 90 kids in my graduating class. So I have a strong passion for that small community. I have 2 children in the school district. I'm so thrilled that they're going to be going to Narragansett High School. I feel like as a parent, I'm getting a private school education in a public school. I'm very passionate and excited about our school district.
I'll pass and let other people speak, and then I'll finish later.
This past year, one of our teachers lost her husband. And I hope I get through this. Her husband was one of our fellow school people. And the outpouring from our high school was absolutely amazing. He was a good friend, so it's kind of tough for me to say it, but Future Farmers of America have come in 100 from past Future Farmers came. The chorus came. I can't tell you where it's going. That's outstanding.
I'll just add on with that, because this is near and dear to our heart. This person was a very close friend of mine. He was on our school committee. His wife teaches at the high school, and again, when we had that news that morning, That evening, our crisis team met, and it was just amazing. You know, this Narragansett High School, it's a family. Our crisis team met that night. School committee was there, Kathy was there, and just the supports that were put in place. You know, tragedies happen. The supports that were put in place for the students that would be affected by this, by the staff members that would be affected by this. You know, Ray is speaking of the funeral that, and the wake that was just attended by half the town. I mean, it's just, this is what we are in Narragansett. Whether it's a positive thing or a tragedy, we come together and we support each other, and that's what we do in Narragansett. We're a family.
That leads nice to what I'm passionate about in Narragansett. I don't have children in the school system, but I've been in Narragansett for 10 years now, and I am an educator myself, but the thing that stood out in Narragansett to me was the education system and the involvement from the community. You know, in Jamestown, we're a tourist town as well in Narragansett, but the locals that are there year-round are passionate about the education system, and they're constantly involved. Things like homecoming, everybody comes out for it. Everything's about education in Narragansett. So that's something I'm passionate about.
And I'll jump in too. I'm passionate about it. I'm sorry my passion didn't come out early when I was well, let me go some more passion away. What everyone's talking about is the culture that we've created at Narragansett High School. That's the stuff that you don't read on reports. And yes, we don't have those high numbers of kids maybe doing what they need to be doing in SAT. But the culture that we created at the high school is a caring, supportive culture. And they don't have that at North Kingstown High School. Not that they're not caring. They are very caring, and it's very difficult to compare one school to the other school. But when they talk about the response from the high school to the depth of this person, everybody came out. But that happens on a daily basis. It's not just a one-shot deal. Kids are there to support one another. We had an incident of anti-Semitism at the high school last year. We got together, we formed a tolerance team, we had a series of dialogues. 60 of the 100 kids in the senior class came out and involved themselves in the dialogues and talked about what sort of school they wanted to have. Those are the things that you can't see on the report. I'm so proud of our student body that they rise to the occasion. Our graduation rate, you know, it's 95, 96%. Out of 100 kids, that's only 4 kids. But we know those 4 kids. And those 4 kids are coming back, and at some point in time when they're successful, we're going to bring them back to the high school like we've done the past 5 and 6 years, and we'll have a graduation ceremony for them.
How many people come back? Makes it, and you have a mini graduation ceremony, and everybody they've ever had rallies around them, they do the cap and gown thing, they picture with the principal, everybody applaud, the kids mortified, except it should be. And then they go on and celebrate. But that's some of the passion, not only during the tragedy, during the stomping period, but that's something that's very unique to Narragansett.
It is. It's a great place, and we'll have a graduation in January if we need to, in August if we need to, and kids come back and see their classmates graduate, and teachers come. It's really a wonderful experience. So the whole idea that you don't make it in 4 years, you know, that's becoming less and less a focal point in Narragansett High School. What we want is kids to graduate and be successful when they move on from Narragansett High School. And it's up to us to provide those skills that they're going to need to be successful. And that's what we do. So we may not be the best at the very pinnacle, but we have more people getting up to that top of the pyramid. We have, I mentioned earlier, the numbers of kids getting into higher level math is unbelievable. And we have peer tutors. We have a National Honor Society of 50 kids, and they make themselves available to their classmates from 2 to 3, and they work a peer tutoring program. Our advisory program, although they have an advisory program at North Kingstown, ours meets every day for 25 minutes, and they're with that